I made a video a while back about the 2 born-again virgins that I dated, and in that video I told you guys I was going to tell the story about one of them that was basically the most nefarious Thai woman I've ever met, or dated for that matter, and she was a con artist. What's up guys, it's Greeny. Terrible rainy day today in Bangkok. Been raining all day, so what the hell, I figured I'd break out my equipment here and tell you guys a little story about just the most scamming con artist of a woman I've ever dated in my life. I mean, this woman had a scheme set up, and if I was a little unsure if I was reading things right, I found out later from somebody that knows her that I read things the exact right way. Before we get started, I want to thank Ryan the Scavenger. He made this little Greeny license plate for me. He has a YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the description. I got my lighting all set up in here, ready to tell a little story. I've been hesitant to tell this for a while because there's been so much BS, AI generated like Thai stories about women in Thailand, and I really don't want to add on to it. I mean, this is something that I said a long time ago I was going to tell this story, and you know, maybe that's died down a little bit, the stupid stories, but this is a true story. It happened to me, and it's not some story where I lost you know, money or anything like that, but if this woman would have had things her way, she would have got me good. So the story starts, I was single after my divorce from the Thai woman I was married to, dating, you know, going on lots of dates, whatever. I was on Tinder and hooked up with this one girl, and you know, 50% of the battle when you meet ladies, probably anywhere, but you know, I'm in Thailand, so I'll say here in Thailand, is that they a lot of times will not look the same. You know, their physical appearance is not the same as it is in their photographs online. So when you actually like have a woman that you're talking to and they're willing to do like a FaceTime right away, and you can see like, oh, no filters, like, you know, that's already like 50% of a bonus right there. I mean, it just doesn't happen that way too often. So I was talking to this girl online. We chatted, you know, face to face right away, and she looked like she did, and she seemed all right. You know, her English wasn't that great, but she had a little bit of English. But we decided that we were going to go for dinner, and she asked if her friend could come because she was a little uncomfortable, you know, first date, and she was with her friend. I'm like, yeah, we'll just go. I know a place to get some Tom Thai food. You know, I knew in where I was living before, Nha Jom Tien, this really good Isan restaurant, and these girls were from the Isan region. So I picked them up at wherever they were living. It was like the dark side of Pattaya, east of Sukhumvit Road. So we head over to the restaurant, and you know, I didn't spend a lot of money, just ate some Thai food, and they were nice girls. And you know, the girl, I noticed that she was fair looking. She was okay looking, not ugly, not great looking, but you know, the bonus was she looked like she did in her profile, but she had a very nice physique, very, very nice physique is all I'm going to say. Better than most. Very, very thin, and I liked it. It looked good. So we went out and we talked the next day and decided that we were going to meet up the next night, and there was fireworks in Pattaya then, whatever. And I had arranged to meet some friends and go to some place to watch the fireworks. And so she ended up showing up with like 2 or 3 of her friends. You know, it was a fun night, whatever. And we ended up, I had a hotel room in Pattaya because, you know, fireworks, and I had been drinking a lot and whatever. And she ended up coming back to my room with me, and you know, that's where things happen. This is where that born-again virgin thing, you know, came in, because she had told me that it had been 20 years since she had done anything like that, and that the last time was when she conceived her kid with her Thai person that she was involved with back then, or her ex-husband, whatever it was. And, you know, instantly like, okay, first red flag there. But, you know, I liked it. It was cool, and, you know, used protection, took precautions, and the weird thing I noticed is like she didn't want me to. She wanted me to be a bareback cowboy, and I'm like, oh hell no, no, not happening. We ended up she came and hung out a couple of days with me. You know, we were having an okay time, and just like red flag after red flag started, you know, kind of popping up in my head, little things that she would say. So, like I said, the number one thing was, you know, that whole thing that she hadn't been with anybody for a while. The next one was literally after about 3 days, she was telling me she loved me. I mean, that's probably the biggest red flag, because that's not the first time I've heard it, and they were both from born-again virgins like that. You know, so it's like, that's a huge red flag. But the thing I did like about the girl was that she seemed like a really hard worker. So the story that she told me, and this is where it's gonna kind of get interesting, is that she owned a farm in Isan, not too far into Isan, like right into Isan, one of the first provinces that would be maybe considered Isan, and that she owned a farm, that she started off farming, and that she had, you know, saved a lot of money, and that she had bought the farm. And she told me other things like that when people in the neighborhood like need loans, like she basically would give loans to them, and they would sign off their properties as collateral. And over the years she had, you know, retained some of the properties and sold them and made money doing that. And that she's always, you know, looking to make good investments like that, buying things, selling things, that type of stuff. And I'm thinking like, oh, you know, this girl's got a good head on her shoulders, a little business sense, you know. And she was telling me that she farms for mushrooms, big mushroom farmer. And this is where her plan, her plot got very elaborate. She had all these receipts made out to her on her phone, and for sales of mushrooms to like Big C and Macro, like just showing me all the money that she's making. She just made it a big thing to really show me all this money, you know, try to like legitimize herself. You know, she makes good money. She's a legitimate person. She's a businesswoman, and you know, I should date her. This video is sponsored by ZINGIFI. I want to give you guys a little health and wellness update. I've been taking ZINGIFI, that's that Korean red ginseng that I've been talking about since about last December. Initially my blood pressure went down, cholesterol numbers had went down, a little boost in the libido, everything really good. But recently, I mean, month after month, like I just keep feeling better. My like focus and clarity has been so much better the last couple of months. I used to have the occasional kind of foggy days, you know, and I can't remember when the last time I had one of those foggy days. Now, when I did go to Vietnam recently, I forgot to take all my medications. So there's a couple pills. I didn't take most of my supplements. I had to buy ginseng. I wanted to keep taking that ginseng because I take it every day and I've been feeling really good. So I bought a ginseng there, and it was like $30 US for a month's worth of the ginseng pills. And I sent a picture to the ZINGIFI guys, and they looked at the ingredients and everything. The one that I bought was mixed with like that rice flour, had other things, and the actual Korean red ginseng was about 1/10 to 1/12 the strength of the ZINGIFI. So I mean, what a ripoff. Use my discount code if you want to try it yourself. Get 20% off. If you do a subscription, you save even more. And don't forget that this builds up month after month after month. So, you know, nobody's gonna feel the effects the first month. After 2-3 months, you start feeling it. I've been getting tons of feedback in my in the comments of my videos from guys saying that they've tried it and they've lost weight. They feel great, blood pressure going down. So, you know, I really believe in this product. Give it a try, guys. Good thing I wasn't on the ZINGIFI when I was dating her, because I may have never got rid of her. So anyways, she'd have all these receipts, and she showed me she had all this money. But what was odd was there was some issue that she would go to the ATM and get money out. And then she said she had some problem transferring it to her other accounts. One, she said, was from her business account. She wanted to put some money into her personal account, and she couldn't, you know, some BS thing, whatever. And she asked me if I could transfer money from my account to her account. Somehow there was an issue, allegedly. But I'm like, I don't know about that. She goes, no, she'd go to the thing and she'd give me the cash and just ask me to send that much cash. And I'm like, all right. I did that a couple times. Like, it was like 2,000 baht each time. So like 4,000 baht 2 different times, and she had given me the money for it, you know. And this whole story is only like a week and a half period. So I mean, this relationship didn't last that long, but it's just amazing all the deceit and lies that just can kind of come up so quickly when somebody's a scammer. So I'm thinking she just wanted, you know, after the fact, like she probably just wanted to verify, oh, he's got a Thai account, he's got money or whatever. In her mind, you know, I never showed her how much money I had in my account, but in her mind, okay, this guy's got money. She does that a little bit and like, oh, I want to be your girlfriend. Like, you know, wow, this is really nice, you know. And I'm like, I expressed to my friends, I'm like, I'm a little suspicious of this girl. She seems a little shady. My friends are like, so what? What? She can't do anything to you. She can't take your money. She can't get your condo. She can only get what you give to her. Let's just have fun, you know, for a little while. She had, you know, she had a really nice body. So I'm like, all right, whatever, you know. So she's like, oh, are you going to be my boyfriend? I'm like, we'll see, you know, we'll see. Yeah. And I told her, I said right off the bat, I said, listen, I'll date you because you have a career. You have, you know, something going for yourself, allegedly. And that's what I'm looking for. I said, I'm not going to be supporting you. I'm not going to be supporting somebody. I'm not taking care of somebody. I'm just looking to be in like a 50-50 normal relationship. So I said, so don't ask me for money. I said, I'm not giving you any money. So, you know, you just know that right off the bat. You're not, you know, I'm not into that. Oh, yeah. So literally, you know, we're hanging out. I don't know. I think maybe 3-4 days, 5 days. She says, so we're boyfriend, girlfriend? I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, you're my girlfriend. And she goes, well, my mom wants to throw a party like for the neighbors because it's been so long since I've had a boyfriend, and it's tradition, it's superstition, and my mom's very stressed out about it. She wants to get a pig's head or a pig or do something wherever she is. And she goes, well, and you have to pay for it because you're my boyfriend. I'm like, I said, I don't know about that, you know. And she goes, all right, you know, let's do this because it'll make my mom at ease that I'm dating somebody and this and that. And look, I'll split it 50-50 with you. And I'm like, all right, yeah, no, let me think about it. I don't know about that. I've never even heard about, you know, I've heard about like sinsat for weddings. And I'm like, this is such fucking bullshit. I'm like, okay. And so a couple of days go by and I didn't say anything about it again. And she didn't say anything. But it was just really weird. It was just such a fucking scam thing. So this girl, like, she really, you know, she wants to, like, have unprotected, you know what, with me. I'm like, oh, hell no. I said, you need to get tested. Like, I need to make sure you don't have any, you know, ooey gooeys or itchy drippies or nothing like that. So I took her to the clinic, got the test, you know, get the results. Not good for her. Not good. Not good for somebody that allegedly hasn't had, you know, anything going on in like 20 years with somebody of the opposite sex, which, you know, I knew was like complete bullshit because I've heard it before. It's just whatever. But, you know, I'm having a good time. Whatever. It is what it is. And I'm like, oh, you got to be I'm like, hell no. So I didn't like literally dump her at that moment. But I was going somewhere. I was heading out of town somewhere. I think I was going to Koh Chang with some friends. We were going somewhere, and I didn't invite her to go. I was going with, you know, buddies and whatever. And I'm like, all right, you need to go. Yeah, I need to go check on my farm or whatever. So allegedly, she was going back up north to her farm to check on it. Her son had been running it. He's like 18, 19, and that was another couple things. I'll just fill that in case this story sounds familiar to you. Maybe you're dating the same lady and are suspicious yourself. So she said that her son was running everything while she was away, you know, that her family's like, you've worked hard enough. We want you to find a boyfriend. We want you to get married or settle down or be with somebody. We want you to be happy now. That was her big spiel that she had said. And she was always playing some stupid video game on her phone, but where like you're playing with somebody else and you can talk to them. I couldn't understand anything she was saying. So was it her boyfriend, her son? She always said it was her son she was playing with, but you know, who spends that much time online with their son? Like, you know, it was like one thing after another, you know. But anyways, like I said, after that test, everything, I was like, you know, all right, you need to go do whatever, and I'm going here. And I really didn't talk to her it was like 3-4 days. I think 4 days I was away at this island and she was out doing whatever, but she would send me some pictures, and I'm looking at these pictures, and the specific town that she said she was from and that she was in, I'd been there before, okay? And the pictures that she's sending looked like somewhere bigger, not quite Bangkok. I don't know where. Maybe it's not even out of Jomtien, because I couldn't exactly make out the buildings. But I know that there wasn't buildings that big in this town that she was claiming she was from. And I'm like, this is such fucking bullshit. I'm like, she's fucking obviously with some other guy she's probably trying to wheel and deal on, trying to get over on. Finally, one time she calls, she's in 7-Eleven. She was always, when she was with me, she's always leaving me in the car and going in 7-Eleven, you know, getting her energy drinks. She drank energy drinks like crazy. So I'm thinking like, this bitch is, some dude's in the car, and she only found the time to call me when she's in 7-Eleven away from whoever this other person she's hanging out with. She's probably, you know, trying to work multiple scams at one time. I'm like, okay. All right, so before we get to the resolution or whatever, there's one last thing I forgot to mention, which is kind of a big thing. She was constantly taking out money from the ATM that she was claiming was, you know, her profits and all this shit from her farm. And she'd always be going into the gold stores, to buy gold. So she'd come out with gold like this or that or this or that, you know, different gold things. And she said, yeah, I like to invest in gold. I like to buy gold. You know, it's a good investment as opposed to just keeping it in cash. That's what we do. And I'm like, okay, all right. But she never wanted me to go in. She's like, don't come in because, you know, they'll do some fraying price. You know, I want to, you know, just go in, and I don't want them to see me with a foreign person because I want to get a better deal. You know, I might not get as good a deal. I'm like, well, that sounds kind of legit, I guess. You know, the whole thing was just all bullshit anyway. So she finally gets a hold of me while I'm still on Koh Chang. And I talked to her, like I said, that one time on the phone. And then there was another call. And one time she asked me to send her 4,000 baht that her ATM, some bullshit wasn't working. I'm like, no, I'm not sending you any money. And then she sends me a picture of a bunch of money stacked at the bank, at a bank teller. She goes, I just got a great deal. I just bought some more land. I got a great deal on it. And I'm looking at the money, and I'm looking at how much she told me that she's buying this land. And mind you, she's not in the picture. It's just a pile of money at the bank. So I'm looking at the stacks. They're $1,000 bills. And I'm thinking, you know, 100,000 per stack, 100,000 baht per stack of, you know, 1,000 baht bills. And I look at it and I count it, and it's way more than the amount that she's telling me that she's purchasing this land for. And I'm like, this is just such bullshit. This is it's some random picture. Like, she's probably sent the same picture 14 times trying to do this whole scam. And I'm like, what are you, like, why are you buying this land? Like, what are you planning on building? She goes, no, I want to build a resort. She said, I think I can build a resort. So I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, this is where she's going with all this stuff, like proving her wealth, proving her business acumen, and all this bullshit that she's going to try to get me to invest in this resort that she wants to do. And dude, I'm only seeing this chick, maybe at this point it's like 10 days I've known her or something like that. And I'm like, gosh, she's moving fast to really try to do some scam, to try to really hone in on this this opportunity that she's going to offer to me. It was the last day, and I was coming back, and I talked to her on the phone that day. Finally, we talked, you know, not video, but talk. She's like, oh, I'm going to head back to your place. You're coming back? I'm like, you know what? I told you before that, you know, I'm looking for an honest person and this and that. I said, I don't trust you. I said, you're just a liar. I said, no, obviously I'm not an idiot. You're a friggin' liar. I'm not going to see you again. And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah. Okay, click. And that was, I never talked to her again. Like, that was the end of it. It was just like, poof, vanish. And she had left some shoes and different things at my house and gold. And I'm like, well, this bitch is just such a liar. So I took the gold. She had left these earrings that she had bought in my car. And there was this other little bag of gold. So I took it to the little pawn shop down by my house to have them look at it. I'm like, is this even friggin' real? I was thinking, like, she's pulling some scaggle. This shit is not even real. And sure shit, it was all fake. It was all fake gold. I know that at some of these gold stores, like out front, they have things with earrings that look like gold, but it's not the real gold. You know, they'll sell you fake gold too, and that's what she was doing, was going in and buying fake gold. It was all just a huge concocted story. And like I said, I think what she was after was she was going to try to get me to, you know, give her some big amount of money and then probably poof, disappear or whatever. But it just never got that far. So if the story sounds familiar to you, if you're dealing with somebody that, you know, is a mushroom farmer from this close region to Isan, like, you better run like crazy, because this is just a nefarious, scamming ass chick. So I said I got some confirmation on this later. About a month or so later, I get a message on Line. It was either Line or WhatsApp or something, and one of her friends that I had met initially with her on either that night or that first time that we had went out to dinner, one of those girls had my information and sent me a message, hey, are you still seeing whatever? And I'm like, no, I haven't seen her in months. She goes, oh, I don't talk to her anymore either. She goes, and I want to tell you that you are so lucky that you stopped seeing her, because she was planning a big score. Like, she's a big time scammer, and you're very lucky that, like, you never got hurt or nothing happened. I'm thinking, like, holy shit, was she gonna try to, like, poison me or something? Like, I don't know, but she was like, you're lucky you got away from her. You got her, you know. And I'm like, holy fuck, did I dodge a bullet? Pretty wild stuff. I mean, just there's some really bad ones out there, some really bad ones, and this one, if this story sounds familiar, send me a message. I'll tell you what the name she was going by. I actually have copies of her ID and stuff if things ever got bad. I did make some records. But you know, she never really got anything. I spent a little bit of money on her, dating and whatever for a week, whatever you're gonna spend on a person, but I never gave her any, like, sums of money or anything like that. So just be suspicious. You ever start dating anybody and they, like, ask you to send them money, or their mom has some superstition, or just any of this bullshit, just run. I ran. All right, guys. If you enjoyed the story, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and catch you guys in the next video. Greeny out.